Environmental graphics, I think, is really the basis for where we started. Environmental graphics tended to be static. We did banners, we did installations, we curated art, and I think that more than ever, data is changing and it's variable and it's interesting. And how do you take that to the next step?
We had been thinking about how we can demonstrate the value of libraries and taking all of this information that tells our story of library usage transcending our physical boundaries, but we hadn't really seen a good implementation of this.
About a year ago in June, I was on vacation in Seattle, and one day I went to the new Seattle Central Library, and in one of their areas above their reference desk, they had a set of panels of video displays that they were showing their circulation statistics for the Seattle Public Library system. And I thought, well, that's a really great way to tell a story about what's going on in the library.
Oftentimes people think of libraries as being purely physical in nature with the physical materials and the physical space. That's only a small portion of the story, that the real usage of libraries has continued to ramp up in the electronic space. When
I came back here to work, I started talking it up to my boss and to Nathan Lambert, our technology officer, and we started brainstorming, and over the course of the year, this project that we refer to as Public Wow started to take shape.
Thinking about the different ways people use our library, we realized it was critical to tell that story.
Libraries have for generations kept statistics about what it is they do, how many books you catalog, how many things you check out to people, how many people are coming into the library. But other than a few organizations that we report those statistics to, no one ever really knows what those statistics are.
Early on, what we really wanted to work on was, what type of data were we trying to portray, what type of data were we trying to really bring forward, and then in turn, how can we create an interesting visual representation of that data that's going to be engaging and create that wow factor for the patron walking into the library.
A lot of the form followed the function behind that. Since it was very numerical, I wanted to just use color to really make the information pop on the wall. And we were just cycling through all the information they could give us and give it the most meaning with the different layers of information we could get.
Library usage, isn't simply people walking through your front door. It's not simply circulation transactions. It's not simply interlibrary loan requests or website activity or usage, but it's all of these activities together collectively.
This is a way for us to make those invisible statistics more visually appealing, and so people really can see what's going on in the library and how we're spending our resources.
We talked to Optium and basically said, do you think that there's a way to bring this story to life? And the answer was absolutely.
Well, I think there's two facets to what we do from a design standpoint. One is, how does the data look? How will it be consumed visually? How will the public accept that? But unless you can create something from a mechanical requirement that actually works, that actually can be viewed, that can run seamlessly, nobody's going to see it and it's not going to matter.
I had to start figuring out how to make it a manageable piece of information that I could connect to over the internet from our office to their library, and going back and forth. And with everything that they had before, it was very helpful to be able to take their existing code and pretty much reconfigure and elaborate on it.
I think we need to take a look at how we can explain or how we can consume that data visually, how we can portray it, and then how it makes it interesting and meaningful. So it's not only a bunch of words that are falling onto a screen, but how are we visually communicating, how are we creating an experience that otherwise would never be seen.
We're getting tons of feedback from people about other screens, other ways to tell this constantly evolving story.
It really has come out much more spectacularly successful than I thought, and we're already generating new ideas of more displays, more statistical displays that we'll be wanting to add in the future. So I think this is the first iteration of something that's going to become important to us for the future.